Okay, today we're going to be going over academic research. The last paper that you're going to write is a research paper, and you will need to use sources from an academic database. For some of you, you've probably had some access to this or had some exposure to academic research, but for some of you, it could have been a long time, and you need some information to kind of remind you about how to do this. So the purpose of this presentation or tutorial is to save you time and to help you navigate the academic databases a little bit easier. So let's get started. All right, this is the information that we're going to be covering. All of these will assist you in your research. And I first want to start with Google versus academic research. Okay, so Google is an internet search engine that is absolutely free, and that's why we love it. Information retrieved on Google, however, has not been evaluated, and a lot of times it is inaccurate, biased, and not current. So as a researcher, when you're finding sources via Google or any other internet search engine, you need to really make sure that you're evaluating information carefully. Now, the opposite of that is using library databases. This information is copyrighted, it's licensed, Grossmont pays for access to these databases, and the information is free to you, and you have access to it. The information is already evaluated. It's already credible. It's already been written and evaluated by experts, and you can trust that it is good academic information. And that's the peace of mind that you get when you use academic databases. And this is what you are going to be using for your research paper with me in this course. So, first thing first, how to get there. Here is the web link. And I've also linked this on the page, so you can just click right on it. And you are going to go to Quick Search, then Advanced Search, and we are going to be using EBSCOhost. And I'll show you what that looks like right now. Okay, so here's the page. You'll see this pop up on the Grossmont website. Down below, you will see a quick way to research, and then down here you'll see the advanced search. And I would recommend using the advanced search. It allows you to be more specific with your search terms. Okay, so searching can be very challenging. We are accustomed to Google, and we're accustomed to writing a question and getting an answer via the internet. This is not going to help you yield good search results when you're doing academic research. So you need to be specific about the terminology that you use and the keywords that you use to find the information that you're looking for. You cannot use questions. I found the #1 issue students have with researching, and they get frustrated because they're not finding the results that they want. And I go and I look at what they're searching, and they have like 3 sentences. You cannot do that. It needs to be concise. It needs to be powerful vocabulary that's going to pull up what you're looking for. Okay. Now, here are your search results. You'll see this pop up. Now, I have about 114 articles or resources that have come up from my search of witches in Salem. That's pretty good. Okay, but realistically, this isn't how you're going to start. So you'll have one of 2 search results when you're looking for your sources. You're going to have a search result that comes up with 3, or you're going to have one that comes up with 3 million. And when you see those search results, the first thing you should be thinking is if you only come up with 3 sources, it means that you need to broaden your search terms because you're not getting enough sources. And if you come up with 3 million, it means you need to narrow your search terms because no one can go through 3 million sources. So the first thing I look at after I do my first entry of search terms or keywords is I look at my results. And if I have too many, I start narrowing it down. If I have too little, I broaden it so that I'm looking at more sources that could help me with my research. Okay. Now, let's say you've picked an inhumane topic that you're not all that familiar with. And that's good. You don't want to be researching something you already know something about. So you may not know right off the top of your head what terms and keywords should I be using to look up this. This is when using Google and Wikipedia is a good choice. Okay, so you're going to look it up on Google and Wikipedia, get some background information. You're not going to use those as sources. You're just using them to kind of get a little bit of information and see what terms are commonly used to look up this inhumane act so that you can do your research via the academic databases. Okay, so be smart about that. There's a place for Google, there's a place for Wikipedia, but they should never be in your works cited or annotated bibliography for an academic paper. Okay, not that they're not useful, but they're not an academic source, and that information is most of the time not the best information you want to be using to represent yourself as an academic. Okay, down below, when you have found a source, you'll see something that looks like this, and it tells you what type of source it is here with a little icon, and you see some more information about the different source. All right, so let's say I yield 3 million. This is when you want to use limiters. Okay, and the limiters will show up on the left-hand side, and I'm going to do a tutorial to show you that in a little bit as well. So you need to use limiters, which are going to help you narrow down your search to make sure you're getting what you want. Okay, you always want to select full text, because this will make sure that when you find something that sounds great, you can actually read the whole article. You want to select peer-reviewed journals, because this means academics and experts have already reviewed and confirmed that this is a great article. And then lastly, you have the option of adjusting the publication date. So if you're looking for historical information, you might want that date to be a little farther back in history. If your professor, like yours, myself, is asking you for something more modern, you probably want to move that up to 2000 to 2017 or 2018. Okay, so be aware that you want to use these limiters to help you. Also here, I have a link that will take you to describe all of the different limiters that EBSCO provides. More limiters that you should be aware of is you want to use journals, you want to use academic journals, and then down here, this is a limiter, but this also helps you with finding your key terminology. So you will find it at the bottom, it's called subject, and this will show you, I picked witches in Salem, so this is showing me other searches that I could use that are around the same topic that I might be interested in. And if you think, ooh, that's what I want to look up, you just click on that box and then it will research for those sources. Okay, so let's say I find an article, and this is the one I want to look at. Where's the article? That's the #1 question that frustrates students. You will see, once you open up and click on the title, on the left-hand side, you're going to see 3 things. You're going to see a detailed record, which is going to give you all the information about the source. You're going to see PDF full text, and you could see HTML. Okay? If there is a PDF, you need to click on the PDF. If there's only an HTML, that is telling you that this source is a website or a web page. And that means you don't have any page numbers for it. Okay? But if there's a PDF, you need to click on the PDF, and then you will see how long the article is, and you will see the page numbers within the article, which is very important for when you get to do your in-text citations. You need to have correct page numbers. So, before you begin reading the article, you need to look at the abstract. Okay, the abstract is very important, and it's a huge time saver for you, and it's a summary of the article. So I always read the abstract first. It saves me time. I can check to see if the article's on topic, and then if it is on topic, I can proceed and read the article. If it's not on topic, I don't waste my time reading the article. I move on to the next source. So use that abstract to kind of see, is this really what I want to read about? Is this really on my topic or not so much? And if it's not so much, move on. Don't waste your time. All right. So I've opened my PDF. This is what it will look like approximately. Of course, the title of the article will be different. The first thing that you want to take note of is right in the center. This is the number of pages in the article. Okay, this is not the page numbers, this is the number of pages. The page number will be written in the upper left or right corner or in the lower left corner of the page within the document. Okay, very rarely are the page numbers 1 to 10 in an article. They're going to be different. So I can tell immediately when I look at your citations if you recognize the right page number. So take note of that. When you find the right article, the #1 thing that students do not do is they do not keep a record of the article, which makes researching extremely frustrating. So you have a lot of options. One, download the article, which you'll see over here on the right-hand side. You can also print the article if you would prefer to do that. Okay. The last option, or excuse me, you have two more options. You can create a account on EBSCO and you can save your articles to the folder. That's up to you. But the option that I like the best is email, because most of us are on our email frequently. So over here, right below the print, you will see the email icon, and that is what I recommend. Okay, so first I would email the source to myself. Right here you enter your email address, and look at this. Okay, you have an MLA citation format, and if you click on this, this is going to save you a tremendous amount of time. You definitely want to make sure that you do this. It's going to send you the entire MLA bibliography line that you can transfer right over your annotated bibliography via the email. So make sure that you have that. All right. The other option is if you're somebody who has a very clean inbox, you may not need to do this. But if you're somebody that has a inbox that is a big hot mess, you might want to make a folder, either a Gmail folder or whatever email you use, and drop your emails of your sources into that folder. And that's going to help you stay organized. Okay. The emails that you get will look like this. This might be in your junk folder. You might need to look in your junk folder, but they will all say EP host. Okay. And then when you open them up, you will see the different sources. But here's that bibliography line that I told you about. So this is the information that you would just copy this and stick it directly in your annotated bibliography and check you're done with that. Okay. The only thing you need to be aware of is sometimes the author's name or the title will be all capitalized, and it's just a little technical issue. You know that it doesn't need to all be capitalized. You just capitalize the first letter of the word. Okay, so make sure that you do this. This is the #1 thing students forget to do, and it causes them a lot of frustration. Lastly, although I do not want you to be using Google Scholar for this paper, I want you to be aware of what Google Scholar is. Okay, it's a better option than Google. It's not as academic as library databases, but you can search scholarly articles, and you can look at related works, citations, authors, publications. You can find complete articles and where it was published. The only thing is, sometimes when you find those articles, it's going to prompt you to pay for them, and I don't want you doing that. So this is a great option for you to use perhaps for other classes or in your personal life, but for our research paper, you need to be using the academic databases from Grossmont. Okay, I hope that this will help you. There will be a following tutorial to show you how to actually do all of this within the database. Thank you.